What do you think the ending of One Piece will be like? According to Oda-sensei, the final scene has already been decided. In Chapter 1050, the Straw Hat crew was in Wano country, having just defeated Kaido. So what will the world of One Piece look like 50 chapters from now? First, let's look at the original letter from Oda at Jump Festa. If Luffy and the others manage to leave Egghead Island safely, will they head to that island? I considered a route where they don't go, but I guess Luffy can't be stopped. And there, a scramble for that will likely take place. He's completely hiding which island they will go to and what they will be scrambling for. But the answer might have already been hinted at in the letter. Pay attention to this part. In Japanese, one hiragana character is composed of a consonant and a vowel, allowing for a vertical message to be hidden within horizontal text, a kind of wordplay that subtly communicates a hidden message. Can anyone read these 4 hiragana characters? The phrase is aka ishi. Aka means red, and ishi means stone. Well, I guess I don't need to explain any further. In this channel, the channel owner, who is a Japanese translator, explains One Piece from a Japanese perspective. I check both the Japanese and English versions of One Piece every week, and there's a lot of important information and wordplay by Oda-sensei that doesn't get translated. I'd appreciate it if you could support this channel as a dark horse among YouTubers who talk about One Piece. Luffy's goal is to become the Pirate King. He can achieve this by winning the battle for One Piece. To do so, it goes without saying that he needs to outcompete the other 4 emperors who are also after One Piece. But the central focus of discussion here is always him, Shanks. Shanks has always strived to maintain the balance of the world, but suddenly he decided to go after the One Piece. Just before conveying this decision to Beckman, he was gazing at the wanted poster of Luffy, who has awakened as Nika, and muttered, "This is it." It seems that Shanks began to make his move because Nika has awakened, similar to how Pedro fulfilled his role. However, the question arises as to why he is deciding to go after the One Piece. Actually, if you read the original version of One Piece, you can somewhat understand the true purpose behind Shanks' decision to go after the One Piece from the nuances in the story. Shanks doesn't actually say, "claim the One Piece," while the translated version has Shanks saying, "Isn't it about time to go and claim it, the One Piece?" Big Mom and Kaido simply say, "We're going to claim the One Piece." But the difference lies in the kanji used for the verb claim. It's because the kanji used by Big Mom and Kaido is typically used for something that no one owns, like crops or a prize that can be won. It also implies a nuance of acquiring it through further effort. In the scene where Buggy decides to go after the One Piece, a different kanji is used. This kanji simply means to take something, without the nuance of acquiring it through brute strength, like Kaido or Big Mom. It makes sense for this kanji to be used in Buggy's line, as he is considering outsmarting other pirates to claim the treasure. On the other hand, the kanji used by Shanks means to rob or to steal. This suggests that there are 2 possibilities. Either Shanks is not worthy of possessing the One Piece, or the One Piece is currently possessed by someone else, such as Joy Boy. And if Shanks has knowledge of the true history of the world, it's possible that he knows who should rightfully possess the One Piece. In Chapter 1082, we were given a flashback of Shanks and Buggy, where Buggy asks Shanks if he was going to pursue the journey to find the One Piece. However, something happens that makes Shanks change his mind and decide not to go to Laugh Tale at that time. The reason he was crying and the reason he decided not to pursue the One Piece may be connected, and it's highly likely that he learned the truth about the world from his Captain Roger, realizing that his family had an important role to play in that truth. It's also possible that Shanks stopped pursuing the One Piece because he knew it didn't make sense until a certain point, similar to Roger's comment when he arrived at Laugh Tale. We were too early. However, Shanks is now finally heading towards Laugh Tale, and this could mean that the moment that Roger was waiting for has finally arrived. So the upcoming events in One Piece could reveal a lot about Shanks's true intentions and his role in the history of the world. Will Shanks join forces with Luffy in the final chapter to defeat the world government? Personally, I feel that Shanks might not directly engage in a battle with the world government, but rather entrust the task to the new generation. In fact, I think there's even a possibility he could end up fighting Luffy as a pirate. This is because Shanks seems to be particularly concerned about the way of life as a pirate. As evidence, he didn't meet Luffy in Wano country due to the territory issue with Bartolomeo. His defeat of Kid was not to boast about his own strength in Conqueror's haki, but rather as a necessity to protect his subordinates as one of the four emperors. Shanks's adherence to his role as one of the four emperors may stem from his birthright. I believe it's related to his lineage being from the Figureland family. Ace once said, "Killing Sabo is the opposite of freedom." This statement hits the core. Indeed, the celestial dragons symbolize domination. And the opposite of domination is freedom, a theme repeatedly emphasized throughout the story. Therefore, having witnessed Roger's pursuit of freedom, Shanks, realizing he is from the opposite lineage, might have been dismayed. That's why he's adamant about living as a pirate symbolizing freedom, to defy his fate. Thus, it's plausible that Shanks might fight Luffy as an emperor. Luffy hasn't denied the possibility of fighting Shanks either. Of course, this isn't about a fight to the death. For Luffy, it's about surpassing Shanks. And for Shanks, it's about conveying the message, "Surpass me," to Luffy, the central figure of the next generation. It's similar to how Zoro aims to defeat Mihawk to become the world's greatest swordsman, and surpassing Shanks might be one of the answers to Luffy's ultimate dream. I usually avoid discussing the topic of Luffy's ultimate dream in my videos, but perhaps I'll talk about it someday. Shanks seems to have another purpose, which is to settle things with Blackbeard. The reason he came near the waters of Wano country is because he anticipated that Blackbeard would appear to steal Wano's road poneglyph. Additionally, he had Hongu check on Blackbeard's movements. The clash between these two might happen by chapter 1150. The movements of the Blackbeard pirates are unpredictable as they appear in various places, but I can foresee two patterns in their actions up to chapter 1150, as their current objectives are clear. One goal is to obtain the One Piece. To reach Laugh Tale, they first need to acquire copies of the 4 road poneglyphs and decipher them. It's certain that the Blackbeard pirates defeated the Heart Pirates on Winter Island and stole 2 road poneglyphs from Law. Additionally, they went to Whole Cake Island to capture Pudding, who possesses the necessary ability to read the poneglyphs. At that time, Big Mom was absent, and Katakuri was engaged in battle with the Germa. Only Kuzan and Augur appeared on Cacao Island, but I personally believe Shiryu was also on Whole Cake Island. With his abilities, obtaining the road poneglyphs would have been easy. For them, the issue is how to awaken Pudding's third eye. Blackbeard, whose hobby is historical research, might know the conditions for awakening the abilities of the Three-Eye tribe. However, even if Pudding's third eye were to awaken, there remains another significant issue. Let's take a look at Big Mom's line. Roger used a strange power to hear the voice of all things and decipher the stones, but soon we too will have our own ace in the hole who can do the same. Did anyone notice something off here? Yes, Roger did not actually have the power to decipher the stones. When they found the poneglyph in Skypiea, Roger could only understand it as just a great power. It was Odin who interpreted it as writing about the weapon Poseidon. This suggests Big Mom may have been under the misconception that Roger could read poneglyphs. Currently, the only people who can read the road poneglyphs are Robin and Kazuki Sukiyaki. Vegapunk and Saul, having inherited the research from O'Hara, might also be able to read them. Blackbeard will ultimately need to capture one of these individuals to reach Laugh-Tale. Furthermore, Chapter 1080 revealed another of Blackbeard's goals: to make Hachinosu a member of the world government and become the king of a country. He planned to negotiate with the world government using Kobe as a hostage. But Kobe, being a member of SWORD, led Kuzan to suggest Blackbeard abandon the negotiation. But fortunately for Blackbeard, he now has Garp, who is even more effective as a bargaining chip with the government than SWORD member Kobe. Given Blackbeard's insistence on not changing the plan even after learning of Kobe's SWORD affiliation, it's likely his next move will be to negotiate with the world government. This scenario could potentially lead to a full-scale war between Blackbeard and the Marines. In Chapter 1102, we see the final scene of Kuma, which will likely be remembered as one of the most iconic scenes in One Piece. When this scene is broadcast in the anime the year after next, video platforms will probably be flooded with tears for Vegapunk. What struck me most was the depiction of Kuma persevering through the pain of Ginny's death and finding hope again with the birth of Bonnie. Although it wasn't translated, there's a noticeable change in the depiction of his breathing in this panel. Previously, his breaths were simple, but they became filled with hope upon hearing of Bonnie's recovery. However, his journey continues even without his consciousness, his face charred, body battered. The problem arises in Chapter 1102, where Saturn revealed that he had installed a self-destruct mechanism in Kuma after he lost his self-awareness. It's probable that Saturn intends to detonate Kuma once he appears in Egghead. I speculated in this video that Caribou might blow up Egghead, but it's possible that Kuma's self-destruct function might serve this role. If Kuma explodes here, it seems most reasonable that his devil fruit power would transfer to the orange tree on the Sunny. In that event, Vegapunk might reveal the detailed process of devil fruit power transmission. Anyway, what will happen to Kuma's body in the future is uncertain, but Bonnie has inherited his memories. Additionally, Vegapunk has likely already analyzed and preserved his memories without tampering with them. I think that Kuma's memories will be the catalyst for changing people all over the world. Let's analyze the narration phrase. It will be a shock to the world beyond imagination. This shows that Egghead's incident was something the world could never have predicted. So, what is the event that will shake the world? Vegapunk expressed his hope that people around the world could gain knowledge through punk records. Perhaps Vegapunk is considering sharing Kuma's memories globally through punk records. I think the Dressrosa arc provides the biggest hint. Let me explain what I mean. In the Dressrosa arc, Doflamingo attempted to regain his status as a celestial dragon by presenting his father's head to the celestial dragon. Similarly, in the Egghead arc, York plans to become a celestial dragon by offering Vegapunk Stella's head to the government. Doflamingo initiated a survival game by covering the entire island with a birdcage. York started a death game by operating the Frontier Dome system and confining Vegapunk and the Straw Hat Pirates to the lab phase. Furthermore, in the Dressrosa arc, the Blackbeard Pirates and the Revolutionary Army were also involved in the incident, just like in the Egghead arc. There's still one more significant connection between Dressrosa and Egghead. Can anyone think of what it might be? Interestingly, there's a sense of déjà vu when it comes to the relationship between Kuma and Bonnie. It's reminiscent of the relationship between Rebecca and Kuros. Their parent-child relationship is strikingly similar. Firstly, we have a daughter with pink hair and a robust father. Kuma's memories were erased when he became a human weapon. Conversely, Kuros was erased from others' memories due to Sugar's ability. Memory is one of the most crucial concepts in the world of One Piece, because when you die, it's when you're forgotten. The name of the country Kuma ruled was the Sorbet Kingdom. This katakana means sun in Japanese. Kuros's hat also has the word sol engraved on it. Sunflowers, which evoke the sun, are related to both Bonnie and Rebecca. And in chapter 1092, Sakazuki called Kuma, who lost both will and heart, a puppet. Kuros was also turned into a toy by Sugar. By the way, Rebecca was able to recover Kuros's memories and cried. Similarly, Bonnie peered into Kuma's memories and wept bitterly. The Dressrosa arc depicted Doflamingo's rule, which might be a microcosm of the world government's control structure over the Blue Sea. People working like slaves, unnoticed by anyone. Rulers living in high-altitude palaces. The erasure of memories of important things. Do you remember the significant event that occurred at the end of the Dressrosa arc? Yes, it was the broadcast of the Dressrosa Incident to the world. Admiral Fujitora resisted the world government's attempts to suppress inconvenient truths and shared the real story with the world. In a similar way, I believe Vegapunk will play a role in broadcasting to the world what happened to Kuma. I want to highlight again the narrator's phrase. In Japanese, this kanji is pronounced shugeki, but in One Piece manga, it's pronounced shock. Coincidentally, this notation is also the same when he activates this technique, Ursus shock. Perhaps this means that Kuma's memory will literally be able to shock the world. Kuma always wanted to become like Nika, but he entrusted that wish to a young boy, Luffy. However, I think it's correct to say, as Vegapunk did, that Kuma is a hero. His memories being passed on to people all over the world might serve as a catalyst for him to become a true hero and change the world. The reason why his body, which previously only obeyed the celestial dragons, can now move against their orders remains a mystery. However, one possibility is that the soul residing within him enables resistance against the power of science. The fact that Kuma can still use the Nikyu no Mi powers even after becoming a human weapon indicates that his soul is still present in his body. Vegapunk's reference to the soul in chapter 1072 could have been an explanation that even if memory and ego are lost, the soul continues to live. We know of a similar phenomenon with Shindri. Despite her body being completely dead, her body rejected Hogback's orders and she showed a smile like she did in life. Whether her soul was still present is unclear, but her smile from when she was alive was there. In other words, there's a hidden theme of the human soul's power resisting the force of science, which I think is a crucial element potentially linked to the secret of the Void Century. Next, let's look at the man who believed Kuma would save the world, Monkey D. Luffy. By chapter 1150, the Straw Hat crew will likely have left Egghead and moved on to the next island. Sooner or later, Luffy will have to fight the world government, but his current primary goal is to become the Pirate King. The Straw Hats have a crew member who can read poneglyphs, so the only thing they need to do to obtain the One Piece is to find the last road poneglyph. Let's revisit the letter from Oda Sensei we saw at the beginning of this video. When I first read the letter, Elbaf or Lodestar Island came to mind. However, Oda-sensei mentioned in the letter that Luffy can't be stopped. Luffy always prioritizes having adventures on islands over rushing to the next destination. Since he once overheard the word Elbaf during a conversation between Nami and Vegapunk about their destination, Luffy's mind is undoubtedly set on Elbaf. Oda-sensei mentioned that he had considered a route where they don't go there. This could be related to the content of a letter released before the 1-month hiatus last year, where he expressed a desire to restructure the final chapter to wrap it up as soon as possible. This letter was published before Shanks appeared in Wano. At that point, Oda-sensei was likely considering not going to Elbaf. However, while working on the Egghead arc, the importance of Elbaf increased with revelations like Saul's existence and Shanks's connection to the giants. Either way, Luffy will need to go to another island to obtain the final road poneglyph. Oda-sensei often mentions in interviews how he, as the author, gets swayed by his characters. While Oda-sensei plans the story and character dialogues, sometimes it seems like the characters come alive and influence his decisions. Therefore, it was probably inevitable that Luffy would end up going to Elbaf. Of course, it's not yet confirmed that their next destination is Elbaf, so I'd like to hear your opinions. There were also suggestions of Hachinosu or going directly to Laugh Tale. Now, when Oda mentioned that, if the Straw Hats reach the next island, it will lead to a scramble for that. It's very likely he's referring to the road poneglyphs. Currently, many pirates have fallen out of contention, and it seems that the main contenders for the One Piece are now the current 4 emperors. However, Oda-sensei has explicitly stated that a certain pirate will only appear once at the end of the story. Yes, the pirate with an eye patch. In fact, there has been a lot of debate about who this pirate with the eye patch is. Surprisingly, a pirate who seems to match this description was depicted in this notebook. Let's take a look together. Many of you might have thought the same thing, that it resembles Blackbeard. This pirate with the eye patch is probably what Blackbeard was initially supposed to look like. The discussion about this pirate with an eye patch has been ongoing since 2007, when the information magazine One Piece Paradise was published to commemorate the 10th anniversary of One Piece's serialization. Let's take a look at what Mr. Oda had to say. In One Piece, to this day, there hasn't been a single pirate with an eye patch appearing in the main story. This is actually my modest secret policy. I wanted to say, not all pirates wear eye patches, and you can depict pirates without resorting to eye patches. With this in mind, the maritime adventure of a seemingly ordinary boy began. In other words, if there's a fixed image of a pirate in everyone's mind, I decided to depict the process of a boy's journey to reach that pirate. Nevertheless, it's not that I dislike eye patches. In the final stages of the grand story of One Piece, there will appear just once a true pirate with an eye patch. I'm itching to draw that character. This Japanese phrase allows for various interpretations. It could mean the process of Luffy himself becoming the pirate with the eye patch, or the process of Luffy meeting the pirate with an eye patch. Both interpretations are valid. However, considering that a character resembling Blackbeard was depicted with an eye patch in this notebook, I believe there is a high possibility that he will achieve significant success in the world of One Piece, take up an important position, and emerge as the ultimate enemy that Luffy must defeat, the pirate with the eye patch. Interestingly, the pirate in this initial concept is covering his right eye. This is noteworthy because in the column article about the pirate with the eye patch in One Piece Paradise, Luffy is depicted with an eye patch on his left eye. By the way, many characters in One Piece have scars around their left eyes. Luffy, Zoro, Shanks, Sabo, Jinbei, Dragon, Garp, and Sentomaru. The common point of these characters is that they all seem likely to cooperate with Luffy in leading the world. There is a story in Japanese mythology. At the end, when Izanagi washed his face, the sun goddess Amaterasu was born from his left eye, the moon god Tsukuyomi from his right eye, and the storm god Susanoo from his nose. Those of you who notice this are probably quite familiar with Japanese mythology. From Izanagi's left eye, Amaterasu was born. Amaterasu is the sun goddess. The characters with scars on their left eyes in One Piece could symbolize those who will assist the sun god, Nika. And from the right eye, Tsukuyomi was born. Tsukuyomi is the god of the moon. This could imply that Blackbeard, who is covering his right eye, may play the role of the moon god. Let's also take a look at the scene where Imu is chopping up Luffy and Blackbeard's wanted posters. Luffy's left eye and Blackbeard's right eye are cut out. Perhaps Blackbeard may end up with a scar on his right eye due to Imu. There are several characters with scars near their right eyes: Rayleigh, Sakazuki, and Smoker. It's unlikely that Rayleigh would ever become an enemy of Luffy and the others, so there might be another commonality among these three. They could be individuals who will battle Blackbeard in the final chapters. How many of you have watched this video all the way to this point? If you have, please let me know. I'll definitely respond to anyone who's watched up to here. This channel started on Valentine's Day this year, and I'm grateful to everyone who has played my videos among the saturated One Piece content on YouTube. Especially since the channel owner isn't a native English speaker, there might be some mistakes in expression here and there, but in return, I'll share accurate translations and nuances from the original Japanese with friends around the world. Please also explain about accurate translations to your friends. Next year, I don't plan to make reaction videos to the latest episodes every week, so the posting frequency might be less. However, I don't want to upload shallow content videos that just relay the latest information. Probably. You're not looking for that in my content either. That's why I think the comments from viewers of this channel are of high quality. I hope to grow the channel even more next year, but I won't say please subscribe. I think you might be tired of hearing that phrase, and if you think the channel is worth subscribing to, I'd be happy if you did. I mentioned that One Piece's final scene is already decided, but there's probably a cover depicting the Straw Hat crew after the final episode. Let's look at it together and end this video with that.